welcome everybody to our first edition of Conversations with Kevin outside. We are in Immersion Alley with one of my former students and a great artist. This is Gabby Siekman. Gabby, how are you doing today?
I'm
good. Good. So once again, welcome everybody to Conversations with Kevin. Do you want to tell us a little bit about this project?
Yeah. So Immersion Alley, the Wenzel House, is an interactive public art project. And it basically immerses you inside a interactive Victorian themed house.
How interactive is it right now for you?
Well, it burns a little bit.
Yeah, it burns a little bit for me too. Should we show them what we're talking about?
Yes.
All right. Trompe l'oeil. It's art. Yeah, look at that. So Gabby, one of the first questions I always ask my artists when I'm doing these conversations with Kevin is, what got you interested in art? And like, can you tell us a little bit about maybe what got you interested in reading?
Sure. As far as art goes, I have always been doing art projects ever since I was young enough to hold a crayon. I collected rocks in creeks with my siblings, and we would paint them and do all kinds of creative stuff that way, decorate cookies, make little craft projects. So I've always been artistic in that way. And I didn't actually start getting serious about art until at NKU, when I attempted to join the BFA program and got accepted into that program. With reading, same deal. I've always used reading as a means for entertainment, but also just to kind of escape the stress of the world and my environment. Just being able to kind of get absorbed into a book and find that.
And just so you guys know, we're not actually in a library. This is, again, trompe l'oeil, and Gabby and her artist worked on a bunch of these different books. Are there any ones that you want to pull out in particular and tell us a little bit about?
I actually worked with the librarian at the Kenton County Public Library to come up with a list for this whole bottom shelf right here of children, teen, young adult books that have a good message, a positive theme, they're inclusive. I wanted this to be like very inspirational and like good books for youth to be able to read. And I also put a couple of my favorites in. Dr. Seuss, Oh, the Places You'll Go. I have a tattoo from this book.
Oh, yeah. Can we see the tattoo? Okay, that's a question you don't usually ask in an interview, but all right. Awesome. Good. And then up above, do you want to, I don't know if we can, yeah, bear with me, everybody. We're trying to get that in there. We got some books up there. This camera work is horrible because this is on my computer, but we have some books over here. Go ahead and point out one or two of them.
My favorite books, The Secret Garden. There's a lot of kind of personal little Easter eggs throughout the mural of things that us artists love. So actually all of the books on this top bookshelf are all the favorites of the team of painters that worked on this mural.
Awesome. And we have to look at some other books too, because we're in the library. So let's see. I think there we go. You got my forehead. Can you go ahead?
So this whole section of the books is actually made up funny books that we wanted to include. We've got some of our inside jokes. We made some silly videos. We also included a book right here for Mr. Kevin Minty himself. On painting.
I like the one with this one right here, the Brent Spence Bridge, and it's kind of falling apart.
Duct tape and staples.
Usually I don't conduct interviews in front of a refrigerator, but maybe this is not a refrigerator. It's a painting of a refrigerator. Gabby, you want to show us what's inside, or you want to talk a little bit about your refrigerator here?
Sure. So we obviously have to have a kitchen inside of this grand house. And this is this is a lot of the painter's favorite section is the kitchen. All the different foods, all the cool interactive spots about it. On the outside of the fridge, we wanted to kind of give a homage to a lot of the small businesses that we worked with during this project. B&E Paint and Decorating Center. This guy, John F. Kennedy, he was absolutely incredible. We had so many questions and he was very knowledgeable and he just was able to troubleshoot and answer every question that we come up with. Our installation team, they were genius in coming up with the framing system that was able to hook up everything onto the wall.
Is that a post-it note? No, it's a painting of a post-it note.
Yep. Why don't we take a look inside?
Yeah, I'm hungry. Look at that. Wow. And this is a Thai place that you guys like to go to for Thai food?
This Thai Indian restaurant so much during this project. We basically were running off of Thai food.
It's super good.
It is.
Yeah, and then we have Margina from Ukraine right here. You had several different people working on this mural, and there's several different languages here. Right here we have some. It looks like they're hot peppers from China.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep. And we included a local hot sauce. So there is a hot sauce company here in Covington, Kentucky, Farmer Nate's, and it's so funny. He was just walking around during Blink. He saw his hot sauce in the mural and posted about it on social media.
That's hot. Now we're standing in front of a gold cabinet.
So many knickknacks. A lot of these knickknacks inside this particular cabinet come from Baker Hunt, which is a really wonderful art and cultural center here in Covington, Kentucky. And they were the inspiration for a lot of the furniture. They have a gold cabinet that's very similar to this. And a lot of these little knickknacks that you see, the bases and stuff, are actual pieces of historical belongings to the Baker Hunt family.
And besides painting, Gabby, you also do some teaching, and you teach at Baker Hunt. Can you talk a little bit about some of the classes you teach there?
Sure. I teach beginner oil painting every session at Baker Hunt, which is anywhere between a 5 to an 8 week course, depending on the session. And it's basically just a rundown of kind of a condensed process of starting an oil painting and from beginning to finish of that.
Can somebody take it that hasn't had any drawing experience and you can put them on the right track?
Yes. We just go over some brief little things. We all do a grid drawing together. We do an underpainting, and then we work on the painting from start to finish together as a class.
She'll take care of you if you want to learn how to paint. Hey, I think we should look at a jewelry box. You want to show us the jewelry box?
Yes.
Oh, look at these pearls. Look at the ring, but you can't steal it. Again, amazing trompe l'oeil. You want to talk a little bit about what's inside here?
Yeah. So on top of having different historical items from museums and Baker Hunt, we also included some personal items. So this jewelry box itself is actually my partner's great aunt's jewelry box. She passed away last fall. So I wanted to kind of give a tribute to her by including this jewelry box. And we looked out, seriously, we found the exact pull handles that her jewelry box has on a little jewelry box at like a St. Vincent de Paul. So we purchased that. We took the handles off to include it, and it is the exact replica of the jewelry box.
Wow.
And inside we've got different things. You might, if you do the scavenger hunt, you might come across something inside this jewelry box.
Can you talk a little bit about the scavenger hunt?
Yes. So there are 2 levels to the scavenger hunt. There is an easy level and a difficult level. And the easy level is simply a game of I Spy. Every artist that painted on this mural has hidden their own object somewhere inside the house, and you get the silhouette of the object. You don't know the size, you don't know the colors. So you just look at that blacked out silhouette and you have to go all around the mural trying to find all these different objects. And the difficult level scavenger hunt, you get an old map. You will find an old map somewhere in the mural. And on that map are all these different locations marked off. And for each location, there is an object or a symbol somewhere hidden in the mural that represents that location. So you have to do research about that location, about that business or whatever it is, and then find what you think the object that represents that place is.
And so guess we should tell people this is called Immersion Alley, the Immersion Alley mural, but where exactly in Covington is this? So people can first, if they don't have a map, they can Google to get here,
Yes.
and then they can find the map inside the mural. So where exactly are we?
We are in Tobacco Alley in Covington, Kentucky. We're just off Madison Avenue. Tobacco Alley runs parallel between 5th Street and 4th Street.
Yeah.
So.
All right, great. Again, oh geez, I don't know what we got before. It says pause. Oh, no, okay. Oh, I'm totally screwing up. We're doing good. You might think we're in a bedroom or an alley because we've told you both. But there's a painting that's above us right here. Where is this painting located?
This is a painting from the Cincinnati Art Museum. It is titled Last Flowers. It's by artist Jules Breton. And it is just one of those paintings at the Cincinnati Art Museum that a few of us from the team, every time we go there, we have to stop and spend some time with this painting. And we just thought it would be wonderful to add it into our house.
Yeah. And then besides having other paintings from museums, we're not in a bedroom. Again, we're in an alleyway. And look at the painting behind us. This is by Tadema, and I know exactly where it is, but Gabby, why don't you tell me where this painting is located?
Sure. This painting is called A World of Their Own, and it's located at the Taft Museum.
So if you ever, and I hope that you get a chance to come and see this alley, and again, this is going to be on YouTube, so you might not necessarily be in the Cincinnati area, but if you ever get a chance to come and look at this alley, it's incredible. And Gabby, you didn't work on this alone. You had help. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Let's open these doors.
Oh, let's do that. Oh, it's a magic scroll, and it's got people's names on it.
So this is all the signatures of all the artists that worked on this team. It says, the magic of this mural lies in the artist's hands. So you have the 2 lead artists that are myself and Devin Horton. And then we had a team of 12 amazing assistant muralists. So we've got Chloe Wanger, Randy Gadawa, Brett Tachi, Siri Reuter, Wesley Erickson, Tia Taberki, Yuen Rong Lee, Clint Noble, Brennan Walden, Rashad Orlando, Logan Walden, and Rachel Linneman.
Yeah, that's great. And they've all worked on these pieces, and it's a pretty incredible experience to see how everybody poured a little bit of their own soul into it.
Yes,
yeah,
definitely.
I've talked about how almost everything is painted here, but what's going on here?
We've got some frosted glass windows.
Frosted glass, everybody. Boom! This is one of my favorite parts. Yeah.
So
how did you guys do this?
The material that we actually painted this mural on was a clear PVC plastic. So everything in this alley started off as this clear material at first. We sanded and we primed it, and then we began painting. But for certain areas like this, we wanted to give the appearance of frosted glass windows on this china cabinet. So we taped this off really good. We did the priming on all the areas around the tape, and then we pulled it off. We sanded this really good and kind of put a clear coat on it to give it that appearance of frosted glass.
It's so awesome. I love this part. This is one of my favorite parts. Like, oh, look at that. And then these are from the Taft Museum of Art as well.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So much art history in this house.
Yeah.
And we have other personal items. So lead artist Devin Horton, this is a lot of her different family members' heirlooms. We wanted to kind of pay tribute to different loved ones, lost loved ones. So
Yeah, very nice. Well, I see that there's some portraits here. There's one very good-looking gentleman that looks like King Philip. Who could that be? Do you want to talk about the portraits in the painting?
yes. So a couple of us muralists are portrait painters. That's kind of our specialty. And we love to express those talents and add some of like the things that we're really strong at into the mural. And this was actually the patron's idea, but she had the wonderful idea to have all of the painters' portraits included in this mural. So everything that you see, all these oval paintings hanging on the chains, those are all 12 of the assistant muralists. You've got the next to the wonderful King Philip painting, you've got us two lead artists, me and Devin.
Right here. These two right here.
Yes.
Yep.
And a lot of us painters on the team were actually students of Kevin's. And we just all agreed that he's a wonderful mentor. We all learned so much from you.
Thanks.
And we wanted to kind of pay honor to you by including you in this mural as well.
Was much appreciated. And then you basically sort of memorial, not like you now have pictures of these artists at say 20 some to, I'm not gonna, maybe 30, I'm not gonna divulge anyone's ages, but like they're immortalized on this wall, which is a pretty exciting thing. So, 50 years down the line, like this is what they look like. These are the painters. Let's take a closer look.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. We're coming this way. Let's see. Okay, you want to start with, okay, so there's Devin and Gabby.
Yes.
Yeah, you can just barely see Gabby's hand there. Yeah, this is Devin. Looks like I'm picking her nose unintentionally. And up there, there's Gabby. And then, which way am I going? Okay, yeah, all right. Yep, look at that. Yep, cool, all right. And where are we going now? Oh, don't look at that guy. Okay, and yep, get everybody in there. Yep, and then this is your patron, right? Okay. Hold on, I'm sorry, this is horrible. Okay, here we go. This is all reversed. Okay, walk this way. Yeah, there we go. Okay.
So these are the patrons, Amy and Tony Milburn. Amy actually is the person who had this grand idea. This immersive interactive alley was Amy Milburn's kind of dream. She wanted to create something like this, and she had no idea how to begin. And that's when she sought out artists and was connected with Devin and myself. And we began this very long journey of what became this entire immersive alley.
Awesome. Yep. Okay. And did we see these over here already too?
And yes.
Yes, we did. Okay. Sorry, everything is reversed on here, so I'm doing it backwards. Where do we start the scavenger hunt?
So when you enter the alley, you will see a sampler sign on the wall. It's right over there. It says, "Welcome to Immersion Alley's The Wenzel House. Make yourself at home. Covington's treasures are open for inspection. To find the key, look behind your own reflection."
Okay.
So after looking around for a moment, you will see this mirror cabinet right here. It's obviously not the best, but it does have some reflection to it. We found this mirror paint that was ridiculously expensive. Once you open up this mirror cabinet.
Oh yeah, there's the map.
Yeah.
And these are all the little things that you can find in the mural. Here's the map.
Yes. So this is the easy level scavenger hunt, and this is the difficult level scavenger hunt. They're two entirely different sets of objects that you're looking for in the house. This one, you're simply just finding the different objects that you see the shapes of here. But this one, you have no idea what the object will be. You have to do research about these different locations that are marked off.
Do your research, everyone.
Yes.
We're looking at a grandfather clock. It's about time to kind of end the mural portion part of the interview. And you want to talk about this clock?
So this clock we spent many years on, a very, very long time. But it was also one of the first objects of furniture in this mural that when we like, wow, the potential of the rest of this mural is just insane.
Yeah, let's take a look at some of this detailed stuff. Oops. Go this way. Yep.
Yes.
And why don't you point out some important things in the mural or
Yeah.
in the grandfather clock?
So one of the things that I love about this is the time actually has a meaning. 212. So you've got the 2 lead artists and the 12 assistant muralists.
Yeah. The detail and the filigree in this is pretty exciting. Really nice changes of color in terms of warm and cool, and it really feels like an old ancient grandfather clock.
All
Yeah.
of these little details, the color
Whoops,
shifts.
there we go. There we are. Oh, yep.
Just,
Yeah.
just
Very
so great.
nice. And you can touch, like, don't scratch the murals, don't rub your hands on the murals, but there's lots of things that you can open up and play with, and it's pretty interesting. That's why it's called Immersion Alley.
Yes.
Yeah. So we're gonna finish this interview in maybe a little bit more quiet situation. I have a few more questions I want to ask Gabby, and we'll see you in a second. Hopefully the audio is picking up enough, is it still going?
It's going. It's recording right now.
Oh, whoops. Gabby, could you give us a tour of the house or sort of see us out?
Sure thing.
All right.
So this yellow room that we're in is the foyer. This is the entrance. On down into the living room. Got the mantle, the couch, all of this awesome stuff happening. It goes into the dining room. We've got the dining table, the bookshelf, the suit of armor. Then we move into the kitchen. We, of course, have all of that amazing food that we looked at earlier, the baking cabinet, different little moments.
Also want to point out, one of my students, Siri, worked on this, and this is not how to do a mural. There's tiny, tiny little detail in this. That's not how you do a mural, but that's how you get remembered.
Kitchen, we start to enter into the bedroom, which is the final room of the house. Obviously, the big giant bed, all of the different stuff on the vanity, the nightstand, the little art studio that we've got going on here, the armoire. This one.
Look at that.
Check inside the closet.
Yeah.
And then we have this last little piece, which alludes to there being a greenhouse coming off of this Wenzel house. This is the kind of the door entering into the greenhouse.
All right. Well, we've talked a little bit about who your first, like how you became interested in art. Can you tell us a little bit about some of your art heroes? Who are some of the people you've already talked about some of the people that you've immortalized in the mural, but can you talk about some other artists?
Sure. I have a few favorite artists. Contemporary artist Jana Bright. I really identify with a lot of her work, and I have never had the pleasure of seeing one of her paintings in person, but it's definitely on my bucket list because they're giant and they're so moving. Um, and this other one is, it's not me being biased because she was my co-lead artist, but I really do see Devin Horton as one of my artistic heroes. She makes a lot of environmentally friendly work, and she is currently doing all kinds of experiments on how to make sustainable, homemade botanical paint. So just trying to get clean with every aspect of her art, and I just find that so inspiring and wonderful.
That's great. Cool. Um, so it seems like I know that the mural was sort of uh you were very passionate about doing it and you spent a lot of time in it, which basically kind of like ruled your life for a couple of years. Were there any quotes that got you through that, or any quotes that you kind of govern your life by that helped make day-to-day living like
Yeah.
worthwhile? Yeah.
Actually, a quote from the Lorax is one of my all-time favorites, and it is something that I do like to live by. I have this one tattooed on my arm as well.
Yeah. Oh, let's get kind of washed out. Let's. There we go. Okay, there it is. All right.
So the quote is, unless someone like you cares a whole awful lot, nothing is going to get better. It's not. So I try to live by that. I care about the environment, I care about the state of the world, and I make actions to help create the change that I want to see in the world.
Yeah. I mean, you just kind of answered my next question. Like, what do you want people to know about what you're doing for the world? And I think you just answered that. I think trying to make a difference, trying to make it count.
Yes.
And I think that you're doing that in multiple ways.
Thank you.
Yeah. Um, can you describe the environment in which you like to work? I saw some videos when you guys were working on Immersion Alley. It looked like you were making a really fun environment. Can you
Mhm.
talk about that? Can you talk about how you like to work in your studio or whatever?
Oh, yes. It definitely depends on my mood, what type of environment I like to work in. Sometimes I need the quiet and the solitude of my studio at home where I am just entirely by myself. I don't have any stimulation happening, no noises or other people doing things. But other times I like to be in a very fun environment with friends where we're listening to music, we're jamming, we're hanging out, we're kind of cracking jokes, laughing, and just kind of goofing off. That fuels the creativity. So it just depends.
Yeah, that's cool. Can you tell us about, you've just talked about your favorite work environments. Can you tell us about some of your other favorite things?
Sure. I love to garden. So I have been growing an organic garden in my backyard for 5 years now. And it is something I've always had this goal of growing all of my family's food for the year, being entirely self-sustainable. And it's something I haven't quite achieved
Mhm.
yet, but I'm definitely working towards it.
Yeah, that's great. Gardening. You also have had in the past, you've done a Halloween, uh, a haunted house kind of thing. Can you
Yes.
talk about that? Do you like Halloween?
Yes, Halloween is my favorite holiday. And every year for the past 4 years now, my two sisters and I put on a haunted house for charity where we turn my backyard and the woods in my backyard and the garden, we turn it into this giant haunted walk where admission into it is donatable items like canned foods, care items, blankets, coats, hats, gloves, that kind of thing, and it's all volunteer run. We bring in a great group of volunteers every year to be scare actors, makeup artists, all of that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. And then I think what we can do is I want to show some artwork that you've done besides the mural work that we've kind of highlighted. So I'm going to pause it for a second while I bring that up. We're looking at a painting that you did, a portrait for a portrait commission or a program that you're interested in, and they've allowed you to do this. Can you talk a little bit about this?
Yeah, so this was actually a foundation that you referred me to, Portrait of a Soul. And what they do is they go to different hospitals and they work with just different groups of kids or young adults, and they commission world-class portraits to help with their confidence. They've done different disabilities. This particular round of Portrait of a Soul was for Down syndrome, people with Down syndrome. And this was a young lady, Catherine, that I got to meet. I got to hang out with her at her home, take some pictures of her, and do her portrait. And I'm really, really proud of this because not only did she she was a little concerned about what she was wearing and being represented the right way, but this is her favorite shirt. And she told me that I nailed it. And actually, the background of her portrait is one of her paintings, her favorite painting that she's made. And I did my best to replicate her painting as the background of her portrait.
Yeah, if you ever get a chance to go to a Portrait of the Soul opening or ceremony or celebration, it there's usually not a dry eye in the crowd. It's a really moving experience. I'm really happy that I've been able to be part of that as well, and it's just such a wonderful experience to be able to paint a portrait for someone and just see them glow and their families light up, and it's a really special moment. I'm gonna show you guys another painting by Gabby. Give me 1 second here. Here we have one of your most recent paintings. Could you tell us about this one?
Sure. This painting is, at the time, it is titled 5,220. And the title is a fluid title. It changes monthly because this is the number that represents the number of pieces of plastic that I have not thrown away to a landfill since switching to using a menstrual cup. And I like to make environmental work. I like to make work about the changes that people can make to make a difference. And this is the beginning of a series that I'm working on called What These Hands Can Do. And it's just different changes that people can make in their everyday life to create a big impact on the environment.
Yeah.
So
it's a good painting and has a good message.
yes.
Okay. All right, I'm gonna ask you one more question, and I think we're gonna go back to seeing each other and have this interview with the rest of the community. So let me just pause this. And the last question that I always ask is my colleagues, peers, former students, are there any teachers that you would like to thank that have helped you along the way, or even mentors, or just people in your lives? And you don't have to thank me. Like, that painting is already kind of crazy enough. But can you tell us some people that you'd like to give a shout out to?
I do want to give the biggest of thank yous to my family, my partner, Colin, and our daughter, Cameron. They put up with me being cranky when I was working these very long hours on this mural. I was more than full time painting, so I was coming home entirely exhausted, and they gave me so much patience and so much grace while I was doing all of these crazy hours. So definitely a big thank you to them. And I have another teacher, another art teacher that I want to give a thank you to. His name was Jason Kunk. He was my high school visual arts teacher, and he believed in me when I felt like almost nobody else did. I was pregnant in high school. I was kind of getting that feeling that like teachers, had those preconceived ideas about me, and he just gave me a shot. He let me take his class and work on my portfolio for this program I was trying to get into, Governor's School of Arts. And he just helped me so much, and he actually is the teacher that introduced me into oil painting. So
Yeah, sometimes just one person can make a difference.
yes.
Thank you so much, Gabby, thank you, NKU, and the School of the Arts for letting me do this. This is one of the greatest pleasures I have, being able to see friends and students, and now students that are friends, really kind of go somewhere and do some incredible things. So thank you. Thank you for watching, and thank you, SOTA. And thanks NKU for putting up with all of these crazy, stupid little videos I'm making. Thanks. Totally appreciate it. Yeah.
For doing
And then, like I said, I have